Baskets-Talk Ausgabe 5. Today with Mr. Ryan Brooks. Good morning, Mr. Brooks. Guten Morgen.
Morgen.
Wir machen das auf Deutsch, right?
Ein bisschen.
Ein bisschen.
Yeah.
Ein bisschen. We have so many topics we got to talk about. We have to talk about taping video stuff. We have to talk slam dunk contest. We have to talk Temple University, Lower Merion High School. We got to talk about turning pro, coming off the bench, having an impact on the game. We have to talk about Würzburg and there's so much stuff, so let's get right at it. So let's get this one started. How's the mood today? Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy. We just had a morning session, lifting and shooting. So just coming from that and ready to get this interview started.
Originally, I wanted to do this whole setup inside the locker room because it would have fit nicely with the stuff we did a couple of weeks ago with the happy video. Talk about this. I mean, basically the idea was to shoot a video and like it was on the original website 24hoursofhappy.com. So talk about a little bit about this and how long did it really take to get this video done and how much prep was it?
I think all the preparation was on your part. You pretty much just told me, just perform how I wanted to in the amount of time that we had, and that time was pretty much as long as the song was, which I think was about 3 minutes and something. So we did it in one take, and I followed the cameraman, you, through the Telekom dome, and we ended up outside, where I actually just went off to my car. So we just shot it one time, and we felt pretty happy with it, and
that we didn't have to reshoot it again.
Yeah.
Talk about. We've been discussing the whole thing that we wanted to do the video for a couple of weeks. I mean, we had the video shoot with the local TV station around about Christmas time, when we had this Mariah Carey song going on, and everybody was dancing. And that was the time I came up with the idea. Maybe Ryan would be perfect to do something like this. And over the course, it took us over a month to really get it done. During that time, did you prepare yourself? Have you ever been thinking about what could I do during those 3 minutes 53 when actually shooting the video?
Yeah, well, I've seen the video, the actual original Pharrell video, a lot. So I was familiar with what the idea was for the song and what they wanted to do during the video. It's a great video if anybody hasn't seen it. I think after seeing my video, there were some people that weren't sure, where it came from. They thought we just, did it out of just to have fun. But once they realized where it came from, where we got the idea from, there was a much greater appreciation for it, just for the creativity and how it was done in just one take. A lot of people ask me how many times did it take you to do it, and I said we just did it one time, and then we were done. So I think it was pretty good feedback from it.
How was the reaction from the guys inside the locker room? I mean, we shot it right after practice when everybody left.
Yeah.
You were the last guy still sitting in there, and we said, okay, sit down, just pretend you're walking out of the gym, what you actually did. So what was the reaction from the guys like?
Guys loved it. They thought it was hilarious, especially some guys on the staff, our trainers and coaches, and every time I walk in the gym now, they say, hey, happy, or stuff like that. So it was all in fun. The guys know I like to joke around and have fun and stuff, and outside of basketball. So overall, it's a good reaction from everybody.
Talking about having fun, did you have some fun during the All-Star weekend in Bonn?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Got to hang out with some players from the other team that I knew before or didn't know. So it was a fun weekend. Just to take our minds off of first half of the season, whether there were some stressful times, some good times, but it was a nice weekend to just, relax and get to hang out with some guys we don't see every day.
Yeah. Talk about how much stress was it to being introduced prior to the slam dunk contest and then having to pretend maybe I got to go to the bathroom, or oh damn, my shoe just broke or whatever, then go backstage, and then what happens?
And then I had a wardrobe change and came out as a flight attendant to kind of portray the Ryanair, Captain Ryan, or a lot of people are calling it. But it was just for entertainment. I thought it'd be good for a good laugh and good for All-Star Weekend to just come out there and bring a little creativity, something different.
And it all had to go down in a really short amount of time.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
Because you and our team manager Bogdan were backstage, and the one was lacing up the shoes, the other one was strapping up the pants and the jacket and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How was that like? And then actually, did you really get to how was the reaction of the crowd, or how did you respond to what happened when you came into the gym?
Yeah, the crowd was ecstatic. I thought I heard as soon as I think there was a delay because they weren't sure where I was. It was my turn, and then I started to walk out, and I think the fans that were directly across from me saw me coming out, but the fans that were right by the entrance on the left and right side weren't really sure why the one side was going crazy. But then once I walked onto the court, everybody saw it. I saw everybody laughing and pointing. So I think it was a good moment.
How difficult was it to actually throw down the dunk in those pants you had on? It wasn't. There were no game shorts.
No, they weren't. They were a little tight. They were a little tight. But I mean, we didn't really have. We were walking around all day doing media stuff, and then we had a short warm-up session, but it wasn't like a pregame warm-up, like if we were to have a game and stuff. So I think a couple of guys were still tight, and from that point, I was really out there just to the entertainment factor, and just to have fun. So I just wanted to make dunks, either if they were simple or not. I just wanted to make some dunks and just be there for the fans to have a Bonner there and just go out there and have some fun, be creative.
So there are no hard feelings about not making the final round?
No, those weren't. I told them before, those weren't my intentions. I wasn't trying to win. I thought it'd be good for the fans to have a home player in the dunk contest, and I thought if I knew I wasn't going to try to win it, then I had to bring something else to it. So I think the Ryanair and my flight crew, that was pretty good. That was good enough for me.
Talking about nicknames, how do you like Ryanair? I mean, the nickname, if I'm right, was that came when you came first when you played in Germany, right? Mm-hmm. What other nicknames did you have in college or during high school, or was there any?
In high school, growing up, my nickname was Stretch. I was a multi-sport athlete, and I was long and just really skinny, and some things I did, whether it was on the court or on the soccer field or baseball, diamond or whatever, my nickname was Stretch. But as I started to bulk up a little bit more and gain some weight, that nickname didn't really stick around too much, and haven't had a real nickname, for like basketball until I came to Germany. And they stuck with the Ryanair, which I think goes pretty well, because at the time I was catching a lot of alley-oops and some top 10 plays, and it stuck with me.
Yeah. Talking about slam dunk contest, earlier before the All-Star break, we did an interview session with one of the local newspapers, and I think you told them that you participated in a slam dunk contest during your time at Temple University. Was that right? Mm-hmm. That's right. So, talking about those 4 years at Temple University, that was the time before you turned pro, and you came along playing with those guys like Dustin Salisbury, Mark Tyndale, TJ DeLeo. Each of those three guys played in Europe and in Germany. Actually, TJ DeLeo is in Gießen, one of your former clubs. So talk about those 4 years in college play. What's the one thing, or maybe the 2 or 3 things that stick to your head when you're thinking of those 4 years?
It was the best time, really. After my freshman year, it was adjustment coming in as a freshman, and You know, a lot of players coming from high school have that adjustment period when you get to college, but after that, in the next 3 years, you know, we won 3 conference championships in a row, got to the tournament each year, and won a lot of games. After my senior year, we won 29 games. I'm still mad we didn't win 30, but it was a great time. You know, I had a blast. Still really close with, you know, those names you just named. Still talk to those guys often, and you know, the Philadelphia basketball area. I mean, that the basketball scene in Philadelphia is just a great atmosphere. So we have about, seems like we have maybe 50 schools within, you know, driving distance within, you know, right up the street, you know. So it's a really competitive city, and just playing basketball in Philadelphia was great.
Yeah. You already mentioned some of the guys that you played with, and you're still in touch with. Are you still in touch with TJ, who's in Gießen these days? So how's it going down there? I mean, obviously you played for Gießen last season, and the first year you came into Germany. Mm-hmm. What's the situation in Gießen right now?
I talk to him every now and then. From what I've heard, he's doing pretty well. He's in just first year out, so he's getting used to, you know, how things work a little bit, and to coach that he's played for before. So I think he knew what to expect from a coaching standpoint, and he gets along with his teammates, and it's a team that, you know, also talking to the fans, it's a team that plays hard. They compete, and I know with that fan base, you know, that's something that they really look for, is they want their team to just compete every possession and play hard, and TJ said they're doing that. So
during the 2007-2008 season for Temple, you had 27 minutes on a regular basis coming off the bench. Would you say, looking back at that year, would you say that this year in some way defined you as a basketball player, or you know, set the tone for, you know, what we've seen inside the Telekom Dome and on the road for the Telekom Baskets each and every weekend, with you coming off the bench, being the energizer, being the leading scorer off the bench for the team?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of an adjustment for me again, going back to that. I haven't, you know, come off the bench in a while, but it was something the team needed. It was a spark off the bench, whether it was offensively or someone that could, you know, create some steals or turnovers on the defensive end as well. And you know, I think to start the season, started off really well, and then got into a little slump towards the end of the first half of the season. But you know, it happens, and now looking forward to just getting back on track, getting back to how we were playing earlier in the season, and I think we're moving in the right direction. I'm looking forward to it.
What's the most important part of the game when you're coming off the bench? I mean, obviously, you got couple more minutes than everybody who's starting to get prepared and to see how's the flow of the game. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, I think from the bench you're able to see, you know, maybe how the defense is guarding certain plays, or certain ball screens, what they're doing on ball screens on the wing, and stuff like that. You have to be very, especially when I know that I'm going to be the first one subbed in, I have to be very aware of these things coming into the game. So when I come in, we don't really miss a step. So it's something that, you know, when I'm on the bench, I'm talking to Coach Carson, or me and David McCray are always talking, dissecting, you know, open spots we see that we can attack them offensively, or, you know, things that we can do, you know, defensively as well to stop them. It's something that's allowed me to see the game a little bit differently, and I'm still adjusting to it. It's not something that I'm totally used to. But I think when I have played well, I've been able to. I think I've played well because I've been able to see, you know, what the defenses are doing, or different ways I can impact the game before I come in.
Would you say it's always somewhat like playing or living on the edge by coming in and trying to be aggressive and trying to have an immediate impact on offense, and and sometimes you want to give something to the team, but sometimes when you don't hit your jumpers or you miss an open layup or so, it's just in the blue in offense, so to speak.
Yeah. I think that's the balance. Sometimes I'm struggling to find a little bit, or trying to find coming in, and if I can be aggressive right away, teams know that when I come in I want to be aggressive, so they may key in on me a little bit, and I may not be as effective right away as I have been, but that's the adjustment I've been trying to make, to be able to if I can't be make an impact as soon as I come in, to find another way to compete on defensive end and help the team get stops, or other ways to help the team. So that's one of the real big adjustments. If I can't come in right away and make an effort to help the team right away, then just stay with it and realize there's a lot more game left.
Do you put some pressure on yourself by I mean, it's just the fact that with 12.6 points per game, you're our leading scorer off the bench. Does that put any pressure on your shoulders for yourself?
No, that doesn't put any pressure on. I think I put a lot of pressure on myself, regardless of the position, if I was starting or if I was coming off the bench. And I think that's a good thing. I think a lot of players put pressure on themselves. They know at what level they can perform, and what they can do to help the team. And if I'm not doing that, then of course I'm not happy. But there's no outside pressure that I feel. There's more pressure that I put on myself. So if I don't hit an open shot or something, then I'm more mad than the fans may be. So.
Let's go way back to high school days now. It's been a long time, and I came up during research that there's a book that says Pennsylvania's greatest high school basketball players of all time, and somewhere in the later chapters there's a chapter about Lower Merion and you and Mr. Garrett Williamson, who's playing for the London Lightning these days. You're still in touch with Garrett, or?
Yeah, I talk to Garrett almost every day. My best friend. We live together in the summer, so he's doing great in the Canadian League. He's dominating right now, and really just trying to get his foot in the door. So I think he's gonna surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, he's averaging almost 20 a game, along with 3.5 assists. 54% field goal percentage. Talk about those days, what it's been like with being young, being wild, having fun on court and playing with one of your best friends.
Yeah, it was great. It was times where, at the moment we were saying, everybody was telling us you would never forget these moments, and it's true. We always catch ourselves reflecting, looking back on our high school days, because at the time, they were the best time of our lives, and it helps when you're winning, and we were winning a lot. We won a state championship my senior year, and at the time it had been 10 years since they had won it when we did, and it was just a great time. The group of seniors, I think there was maybe 6 of us. We're still all best friends to this day. So it was a great time.
So once the season's over, everybody's gathering and meeting each other in the Philadelphia area and having a good time.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. What it's like to play for Lower Merion High School, where everybody knows that's the school Kobe went to. Is that something that everybody is expecting you guys to win, or everybody is expecting to have another Kobe, or what is it like?
The culture has changed a lot over the years. I think when Kobe was there, He surprised a lot of people. At the time, Lower Merion had a rich tradition, a good history, but they had no one of that caliber to come in. So it was kind of like everybody. He was the thing, of course, at the time. Like, he was this kid, and then a couple years after that, it was kind of a little back to reality. So I think when my class got to Lower Merion my freshman year, you started to see kind of the talent that was starting to come up from the younger, from the youth. The development started to get a little bit more serious, and they started to develop talent a lot. Started to focus on developing talent a lot more. And by the time my senior year hit, you had our class, of course. We were one of the best teams in the state. But then, you could see that the future was going to be bright as well. Since I've left, they've won multiple league championships. They won another state championship, I think, 2 years ago. And they've been back to the state championship a couple times. So right now, they've almost put themselves into, powerhouse, well-known school outside of, just, that's where Kobe went. So a lot of people know Lower Merion basketball because it's a great program. A lot of talent comes out of there. They produce a lot of high Division I athletes. So they're continuing to move in the right direction.
Yeah. Talking about success and talking about winning. Back in the days when you played at Lower Merion, did you envision yourself turning pro one day, even before going to college, or was that something that was totally out of reach and wasn't the main focus on? Let's get this state championship and then move on to college.
I think you have. I've always been a person that's been caught up in goals in a short period of time. So when I was in high school, my goal was to win a state championship. Of course, I got to the state championship my junior year and we lost. So the next goal was, I want to get back the next year. So we got back my senior year and we won. My junior and senior year, started to think about what I wanted to do after high school. And of course, that was to, play Division I basketball, a high level program. And ultimately decided to go to Temple, which was at the time, I think, the 5th winningest program in the country, So to have an opportunity to play there was, one of the most popular schools, most well-known schools, tradition-wise in the country, and of course, on the East Coast, everybody knew, Temple because of John Chaney, the Hall of Fame coach, and was well-known. And then, of course, in college, you start to focus on, what you want to do after college, and everybody's dream is to go pro, whether that's NBA or overseas. That's what you're working towards. You're working towards graduating, and ultimately you want to continue, playing the sport that you're playing because, that's what you've been doing most of your life, and you want to, go into the wheels fall off.
Continue
as
long as you can.
Yeah, so that was another focus.
Yeah. So being in the Philadelphia metropolitan area for so long, going to high school over there, Temple University. How hard was it to leave all that behind and move overseas to little tiny Gießen in Germany?
Yeah, it was really tough. I didn't really know, what to expect. Of course you ask around, but I didn't really know too many people that had played in Germany, so I couldn't really, ask them, what to expect. And of course, they didn't really know too much about Gießen, so I kind of just.
Let me interrupt. Real quick, did you reach out to Dustin Salisbury? I think he played in Braunschweig the 07-08 season or so.
Yeah.
A couple of years before you came over.
Yeah, I talked to him for a little bit. I think he was only there for a short time, maybe a whole season. I forget. But
I think he came in mid-season or so.
He was there for a short time, so he could only really tell me, a little bit about the league and stuff. But really, I was just going in there kind of blind. I didn't really know what to expect. Going to a small city from a big city was, an adjustment. And of course, I've learned a lot from that first year. Pretty much how to, handle myself and stay together off the court. But it also helps when you're in a good city and there's things to do and you get along with your teammates and everything. And I think I'm a lot different now than I was, my first year out. And I know what to expect now, so able to have a little bit more fun and just enjoy it.
Funny thing being, the first pro game you had for Gießen was when and where?
It was against Bonn.
It was against Bonn.
At home in Gießen, and I got in foul trouble.
Yes. You ended up with a stat line of 4 points, 4 rebounds, 0 assists, 1 of 8 shooting from the field, but a 75-70 win.
Yes.
So
we won. Yeah.
What's left? What's left in the memories? What's in the back of your mind from that very game?
I just remember getting in foul trouble. 2 quick fouls, and I had to sit out, so I was never really in rhythm. But the team stuck with it, and we opened up the season with a win. And we started off the season really well actually until we hit a little bump, and the season went down from there. But from that game, I remember we won, of course, but I was just, of course, upset how I got in foul trouble and didn't really play. Didn't really open up the season like I wanted to, but I remember the next game I played well, so it was okay.
It was a lot better. Yeah. And I got a couple more. Out of those 4 games you had against Bonn, it's a split. It's 2 wins and 2 losses with Gießen and Frankfurt. And the best game you had was 22 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 7 of 14 from the field effort in a 88-79 win that was last year. So let's finally come back to, or let's finally come to Bonn and the season we had so far, and the important win against Würzburg. We had some little payback, some revenge on the weekend.
Yeah.
It was an 81-72 win. Talk about the last quarter. It's been close for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
We were down by 3 entering the 4th. And then what happened? Was it just the fact that our offense started clicking, or was it that we shifted into higher gears on the defensive end? What was it?
Well, I think throughout the whole game we were just saying it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a very physical game. The last time we played them here, there was a lot of little talking going on. They gave us a nice little whooping. So we were definitely looking forward to this game, to get them back, and especially on their home court. So we felt, we knew it was going to be a battle. Würzburg is a very tough place to play. So we knew that we were going to have to be focused on both ends of the court, take care of the ball to the best of our ability. And 4th quarter came, and we just said, look, we knew it was going to be close. Now it's time for the first team to make the first punch, and we felt it needed to be us. Jared hit some big shots down the stretch, and I think that gave us a big boost to get some stops, and ultimately came out with the win.
Thanks for already mentioning him. Jared had a career night.
Yeah,
as when talking about the 13-40 season high in points, rebounds, and efficiency. Was there any talk between the 3rd and the 4th quarter during the short break that you guys said, hey, he's damn hot, we got to go through him? I mean, he had 11 points in the first half, 0 points in the 3rd quarter, and then ended up scoring 9 more points during the 4th quarter. Was that something you guys that you guys talked about and played for him or through him, or was that something that came naturally out of the flow of the game?
Yeah, I think it kind of came naturally. I think he realized that a couple of possessions, the defense had, our offense had kind of broken down a little bit. Defense had played well, and he had the ball, late in the shot clock, and he had, make a couple plays, and he did. And I think, that got him into a rhythm where he felt comfortable the next couple of possessions where, he could make the play, and if he needed to get a shot off, he could. And, we were kind of, I think as a team, we realized that, and we were totally fine with, him making the play, whether it was a pass or the shot clock, went down. We'd get a shot off, and, if he missed it, then we were there to hopefully get a second chance. But if not, then we just get a stop. So I think it was more so of a feel, but it came from him, and we were totally fine with him, doing that.
At some points during those kind of games, it looks like he doesn't. I mean, being a pass-first point guard, shooting and scoring comes third, fourth, fifth on his list. How much can you guys do as far as talking him into, hey, if you're open, take a shot or attack the rim? I mean, he's able to go off in nights like this. How much do you have you guys have to push him into that kind of game?
Yeah, well, we tell him sometimes, you know, he can be more aggressive, but I think he does a good job of reading when he needs to be aggressive and, you know, when he needs to pass. I think that's what makes him such a good player, is that he's able to recognize the moment where he needs to, you know, be aggressive, like in Würzburg. So they were kind of, you know, daring him to make a play, and some teams dare him to make plays, and when they do, he does. So you have to give credit to him for recognizing moments like that and being able to, you know, step up to the plate.
When you have games like this, where, I mean, in Würzburg it was Jared, where you have a game where it feels like every shot you take is going in, and you had a couple big scoring games yourself this season. Let me mention one. That's those 23 games against Tübingen in a close one we won earlier this season. What does it feel like when or at what point during the game do you feel like, yeah, this might be a good game this might be a good day for a scoring game?
I think it's just the whole flow of the game. You know, there may be a couple, a couple offensive sets we know what we want to accomplish or who we want to get the ball to, and sometimes it just may happen that, you know, if you have a game like that, the ball was just moving well, and you were the recipient of, you know, the pass to the open shot, and you just started to get into a rhythm. And of course, you know, whenever a player is in rhythm, confidence it goes much higher, and you start to have the ball in your hands more and feel more comfortable making plays, not only for yourself but for others. And I think whenever you see a game, you know, like that, your teammates start looking for you too. So you never know when it's going to happen, but sometimes it's just the flow of the game, and it takes a team to, you know, realize maybe who has a hot hand or what plays are working, you know. So
talking about what's working, what do we have to work on, or what has got to go right for in our way come the next home game versus Ulm on Sunday? We had the win on their home floor with a 77-73. Mr. Brooks had 14 points on 6 of 10 shooting. They brought in a new player, Ian Hammer from Princeton University. So what do we got to do to finally get a home win?
Yeah, you know, Ulm is, of course, you know, another tough team coming into the Telekom Dome. You know, I think we just need to, you know, stick to, you know, our principles, you know, what we want to accomplish on defense and offense. You know, we feel like we're a very hard team to guard when we're all on the same page. Of course, when our offense is clicking, you know, it makes it easier for us to, you know, get stops on the defensive end if we're taking good shots, you know, to balance the floor and to get back on defense. But, you know, it's going to be a tough team it's going to be a tough team for us. We were able to go to them and get the win because we did some really good things on the defensive end. We got stops, and we were able to run and get open shots. So I think that's another focus we're going to have coming into game Sunday.
How much more does it make you, the guys, be willing to defend even more, knowing that in Würzburg we held them to 0 points in the last 3 minutes? How much makes those kind of games make you guys in the locker room realize, yeah, we gotta play defense first instead of scoring all the way to the victory?
Well, we've noticed that for a while now. We want to get stopped so we can run. We think we're a very dangerous team in transition, and other teams want to keep us out of transition because we have, you know, players that can attack the basket and spot up, or you know, we can attack, you know, teams in different ways in transition. So we know that if we get stops, we rebound the ball, that we have a better chance of, catching teams on their heels and ultimately coming out with the win. So defense is something that's stressed every day in practice, and defense and rebounding, of course.
Very last question. You guys met a couple of the Ulm players during the All-Star weekend, obviously, with Peg and Sosa was here, Kleidung was here. Was there any trash talk between you guys with them maybe saying, hey, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time and get some payback or so?
No trash talking. I think everybody was just focused on not thinking about, the season at the time and just having a good weekend, just getting to see some either some old teammates or some guys you don't get to see every day. So I think it was a good time for everybody just to wind down and just enjoy the weekend before you had to get back to work next week. Yeah. So, but of course, we're all competitors and we know what games are coming up and what teams we're going to see. So in the back of our minds, we know that when they come here Sunday, then it's gonna be a battle.
That should do it. Mr. Brooks, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Have a nice week of practice and see you on Sunday.
Yes, sir.